Tensions in the Middle East have not eased. In fact, the situation is becoming increasingly complex and uncertain. Iran had earlier announced that the Strait of Hormuz has been reopened. However, in reality, commercial shipping has not yet fully returned to normal. Shipping companies remain cautious, mainly due to concerns over naval mines and new navigation restrictions imposed by Tehran. Although there has been some relief in global markets, uncertainty surrounding this critical waterway has not disappeared. As a result, global energy markets, trade, and supply chains remain at risk. Iran says it reopened the strait following the ceasefire between Israel and the Iran-backed group Hezbollah. It has presented this ceasefire as a condition for allowing the temporary resumption of commercial shipping. However, the United States has taken a very different position. President Donald Trump has made it clear that the U.S. blockade against Iran will continue. He stated that pressure on Iranian ports will remain in place until a permanent peace agreement is reached. But the message from Tehran is far more cautious. Iranian officials say major differences still remain, particularly over nuclear issues. While Washington wants to severely limit Iran's nuclear capabilities, Iran has made it clear that it will not hand over its stockpiles or abandon its nuclear program. However, both sides have indicated that they are moving toward a preliminary framework for negotiations. In other words, talks are still ongoing, but a final resolution is not yet within reach. At the same time, the United States has formally announced a naval blockade targeting Iranian ports. Under this blockade, vessels carrying Iranian oil could be stopped, inspected, and even seized if necessary. The position of the Trump administration is clear. It says both military and economic pressure will continue until Iran agrees to a lasting deal. Although the ceasefire in Lebanon has been welcomed, the situation remains extremely fragile. Analysts warn that if this ceasefire collapses, it could also derail ongoing U.S.-Iran negotiations. For that reason, the Trump administration has reportedly urged Israel not to resume large-scale attacks in Lebanon. Overall, the Trump administration continues to strike an optimistic tone. It believes a political agreement with Iran is possible. But the reality on the ground suggests that the path forward remains difficult, prolonged, and uncertain. This crisis is no longer limited to the Middle East alone. Its impact could extend to global energy markets, international trade, diplomacy, and the wider world economy. For now, all eyes are on what happens next. Whether the ceasefire holds, and whether the United States and Iran can move toward a lasting agreement, remain the most critical questions.